So this is going to be the final Courtney Kemp Q&A breakdown that I'm going to be doing, going through all things episode 10, because from tomorrow onwards, it's all going to be about Power Book 4 Force, but there is still so much more storyline and plots that we can talk about for Power Book 2 Ghost, which I'll do during the Power Off season between Power Book 4 Force and Raising Kanan. But in this video, we're going to run through character by character, as usual, going through unanswered questions with Lauren's death, Mecca, Kane, Tariq, and the Cooper Saxe and McClane storyline, and why Tariq now wants out of the game. So with that being said, let's get straight into one of the main questions: is Lauren dead or not? And this was a death that a lot of people were still questioning, even after Jenny confirmed that she died in a car crash, because people thought maybe Jenny's playing Saxe to turn on McClane, and initially I was 50-50 on Lauren's death, until after episode 10, where I thought yeah, she is definitely dead. And they did also confirm this on Instagram with a rest in peace for Lauren, and Paige had also posted a tweet basically confirming her death.
Please. Okay, you and Tariq, you guys can trust me.
Me and that boy trust a little bit differently. Get the fuck in the car.
So that's the confirmation. So let's talk about Mecca and how Blanca Rodriguez was the one who told him that Tariq killed Ghost.
So just to be clear, the only way Mecca knew Tariq killed Ghost was because of Blanca. That is correct. That is correct. And you are paying attention. That is correct. I want to say thank you for your work. And how did Bianca, and I think he means Blanca, become DEA? That's a great question. Well, she got fired. If you remember, she got fired from her job because of what Saxe did to her. So she went off and joined another branch of law enforcement.
So this is one of the main questions that I was asking after episode 9. How exactly did Mecca know Ghost and Uncle Tommy? But more importantly, how did Mecca know that Tariq killed his own father, Ghost? And it seems like Blanca Rodriguez told him, but how did she know? Because at the end of Power, she thought it was Dre until Tube told her that it wasn't. And I didn't think Blanca Rodriguez was one of the people who knew that Tariq killed Ghost. The people that definitely know are Monet, Cooper Saxe, Davis McClane, Tasha, Tommy, and Tamika. Blanca Rodriguez probably has a hunch, but I didn't think she was one who knew for definite. But anyway, why did they kill Mecca?
Why y'all kill Mecca? There was a lot we wanted to see with that storyline. I appreciate that you wanted more of Mecca. Daniel Sunjata is amazing. I'm not gonna lie, he's so great. But the reality was that the show, it needed for Monet, who is a main character, right? Monet needed to have to make a decision about whether or not she was gonna choose herself and what was probably best for her, or what was best for her family. So she chose what was best for her family. She chose it a little late, and therefore she suffered, some pretty huge consequences, which we'll see play out in season 3.
So Mecca had to die because of Monet, and there had to be consequences, which I definitely agree with. Snitches have to die in the world of Power, but I do think they built Mecca's character up to be the big bad, which was then ripped apart in literally one scene where we found out he was the GOAT of global snitching. But I still think his character had a lot more to give in Power Book 2 Ghost. But having said this, there is no doubt going to be a new villain in season 3. But why did they kill Zeke when he was innocent?
What made you decide to kill off Zeke? Well, here's the thing about the big deaths at the end of the season. So what we asked ourselves at the beginning of the season is who are the innocent? I know that sounds terrible, but if you think about it, if you are like a hardcore Power fan, if you look back, we always kind of off someone who is an innocent, because the reality of the drug game is that people get hurt. There is collateral damage. It's not always just the bad actors who get hurt. I don't mean bad actor like performer. I mean a person who is actually a bad guy. The villains don't always just get hurt. They hurt bystanders all the time.
And the thing is, innocent people are always going to be collateral damage in this game. For Monet it was Zeke, and for Tariq it was Lauren. But I always said Zeke was the one to die because he was Monet's golden child, and he was Monet's ticket out of the game. And this is something they had to rip away from Monet. So when Zeke's age was revealed, he was done and he had nothing left to live for. And this is when we knew his time was up. So that's Mecca and Zeke. So let's move on and talk about one with Kane before we get onto Tariq.
Was Kane really trying to kill his father? Well, here's the thing. Yes, Kane didn't want to kill his dad, but Kane had two kind of things happen to him that were really important. One, which is that his mother convinced him that it was her or his dad. And you know how he feels about Monet. Y'all know how Kane feels about Monet, right? That he's just his mother's son. And then the other piece of it, of course, and I think a lot of you guys memed this, which I thought was so great, was that he was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And then she was like, well, Tariq killed his dad. And then he's like, okay.
And this is classic Kane. From the 2 seasons of Ghosts we've seen so far, He is always trying to be Tariq because he wants Monet to think he's just as good as Tariq and he has what it takes. Except he doesn't. Even if he was ready to kill Lorenzo, Tariq has been through way more than Kane has. He's killed his own father, watched his sister die, set his best friend up, and lost so many others like Tasha to Witsec, Sean, Tommy, and Lakeisha to name a few. And Kane will always be one step behind Tariq, which is why he's the son Monet's always wanted. And notice how both Monet and Tariq now want out of the game.
Interesting that Reek wanted out of the game just like his father. My thoughts. And I'll close with this. You know, a lot of you guys are constantly talking about Ghost coming back. And without going into like super detail, what I will definitely say is that part of why I started writing this show is about my father's death. I think a lot of you guys know that. And the thing about that, and what I'm really trying to kind of demonstrate, is that Tariq is Ghost on Earth. Tariq is Ghost alive. He is learning things and changing before our very eyes. Just as Michael Rainey is as an actor, getting deeper and better, and like, he's so amazing, and I know you guys are seeing that. Tariq as a man, he's growing into a man. And
Tariq is definitely a different version of Ghost, and he's realizing very early on that he wants out of the game, and he would have succeeded if Dante wired him that 2 million, but he is definitely stuck in the game for now, and Blanca Rodriguez is going to be an issue for him.
Asks, why didn't surveillance in the lobby catch Monet entering or leaving the building? We didn't say that didn't happen. What we're showing is that Blanca recognizes Tariq off top. She wouldn't necessarily recognize Monet Tejada. We're not playing that the Tejadas have actually been, like Lorenzo himself has been jailed for manslaughter, but we haven't actually been playing that there's a DEA investigation into the Tejadas. We have not played that yet.
So Monet may well have been caught on the camera as well, but all eyes will definitely be on Tariq St. Patrick, and I don't think there will be another case against Tariq, because then it just would be another repeat of season 2 if there was. So I do think Blanca Rodriguez can chase Tariq all she wants. I don't think she's going to be able to catch him, and to be honest, he wasn't the one who killed Mecca anyway, and I really wouldn't be surprised if he had the CCTV from the apartment as backup, especially considering what Kane did to him with Ramirez's badge this season. But what about Lorenzo and Tariq in season 3?
But with him helping him in the shootout, will he have newfound respect for him? Well, Lorenzo also knows that Diana went to bed with Tariq. Never going to be his favorite person, okay? Because that was his little girl, and he doesn't like Tariq from the beginning, so no.
Now, I don't think Lorenzo will ever see eye to eye with Tariq, because he slept with Diana, and he has never liked Tariq since season 1 anyway. But he shouldn't forget the reason why he's out of prison, and that's thanks to Tariq giving Diana the contact for Davis McLean. But speaking of Diana, we may see Diana versus Effie in season 3.
Will Diana find out that Effie and Tariq are getting serious? Watch season 3. Someone else just asked, can Effie be trusted? What y'all think? Can Effie be trusted? Effie can be trusted to do what's best for everyone.
So once Diana finds out that Effie is with Tariq, after she warned her not to get involved with Tariq, she definitely won't be happy. But Diana kind of shot herself in her own foot, because she played Tariq with the crocodile tears and stealing all his product, and with Tariq clocking on that it was Diana, I don't think Tariq will be able to trust her, but he trusts Effie, for now anyway. But let's move on and talk about this storyline between Sax, McLean, and Theo.
How has Sax survived being dirty and knowing way too much information since book 1? Sax has survived, well, okay, so there's a bunch of different reasons. Let's start with the beginning. From the beginning, Shane Johnson came in and he murdered this part. It was not supposed to go this long. I definitely did not see this character from the beginning living this long. But what happened was Shane was so amazing, and then the character became so adaptable because he really wasn't a person with principles. And you know, I love to write about people without principles. So that's why it became more interesting. I always like that push and pull of cops and robbers. And you guys know, or a lot of you probably know, that I came up in legal television. I was a law writer. So I love lawyers. I love to write about lawyers. And so that's why Sax has lived so long. He also does know way too much information, which is perfect for us because that gives you threat. I think a lot of times people are like, why don't you kill the people who are up against Tariq? But then there's no show. There's no one for him to push against or work from.
And Cooper Sax is someone that has just kept avoiding death for 8 seasons of power, but he is definitely on thin ice in my opinion. But having said that, I really wouldn't be surprised if Sax was the one who actually beat Davis McLean, because Cooper Sax knows the killer for Theo's conviction was 4 inches taller, and I think sooner or later he's gonna put 2 and 2 together and could give Davis McLean his first loss and also send him to prison for manslaughter at the same time. And how ironic would that be, because McLean is the one who brought him in to help release Theo. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Will Cooper Saxe make it out of season 3 alive? I actually think he's gonna beat McLean and put him in an orange jumpsuit, but Ev is definitely a season 3 death prediction.